Hey, welcome everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice. Welcome to Tabletop Baseball. And you're joining our 1971 replay using Deep Drive Baseball of the Swinging A's season. This is the first season where, despite not reaching the World Series, the A's start becoming a real force to contend with in the American League West. And we played our first game. It was Vita Blue. And the A's won, I believe it was 5-2, I believe. And now it's Jim Catfish Hunter, who's going up against Tommy John. Now, I was not aware that Tommy John was with the White Sox. So it's going to be the White Sox versus the A's in Oakland. Let's see. In Oakland, Alameda County Coliseum. And we're using Deep Drive Baseball. You go batter first, then pitcher, then the ballpark card. Plays very quickly. It has basically one page of data, one page of stats. And we are ready to roll here. So let's go. Let's get it started. You roll D10s for this game. First, you start off with a red, then you go to a white. And you look off the, depending, 0 to 49 is off the pitcher. That's a 46. It's off the pitcher. We roll the modifier, gives us a fly ball to shallow left field. Racing in is the left fielder, Alu, and that's Richard. Lee Richard, the shortstop, makes the first out of the ball game. The lineup, or the batting order for the White Sox, is Lee Richard leading off. Then it's Johnstone in center field. Andrews, Mike Andrews, the second baseman, batting third. Melton at third base in the cleanup spot. Carlos May in the fifth spot. Reinschard, the left fielder. Nonek Williams in right field. Ed Herman, the catcher, batting eighth, and batting ninth is Tommy John. So it's going to be a fly ball to left. And next batter is going to be Jay Johnstone. He's a left-handed hitter. It's a 74, and a 74 is going to be defense. So we're going to look at the defensive chart and roll, and it's a 52. A 52 takes us to a ground ball comebacker back to the pitcher, Hunter, who's a 4, and he boots it. So it's going to be Johnstone is safe at first, throws there, not in time, so it's E1. Mike Andrews is next. And a 33, that's off of Andrews. And a 1 is pop foul. That's a 3. That's going to be the first baseman, Joe Rudy. Foul out to the first baseman, front number 2. And now it's Bill Melton. Melton hit 33 home runs. And that's trouble. But that is also potentially, we're going to have to roll right here to see if it's a wild pitch. Oh, no, that's not the right guy there. Wait a second. Hold on. We're going to roll right here to see if it's a wild pitch. That's a 24. And a 24 is going to be a D or an F. And Catfish Hunter is a B, so there's no wild pitch. So we're going to take that 00, and we're going to translate that into a 7. And a 7, let's see. 00 takes us to the deep drive chart. We're going to roll deep drive chart. 58, and that's a deep drive to left field. Back goes left fielder Alu to the track, looks up, and that's gone. Home run for Bill Melton. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2-run home run. And the White Sox lead it by a score of 2-0. Carlos May, another lefty batter. That's an 81. And a 0 is going to be lined and caught by the shortstop, Campaneris, and that retires the side. So it's 2 runs on 1 hit and an error. And it's going to, by the way, it's going to be 2 unearned runs. And we go to the bottom half of the first. Bert Campaneris is leading it off. It's a 17, and that's defense. So again, we're going to roll on defense, 70. And the 70 is a ground ball to the second baseman. Second baseman is Andrews, and he picks it up and throws over the head of May. And that's going to be a two-base error on the second baseman. So Campaneris makes it to second base. Some shoddy defense right now here in the first inning by both teams. All right, an 11. And that's a ground ball single base hit. Campaneris is going to score. 2-1. RBI single for Felipe Alou. And a 27 is a strikeout. Reggie Jackson down swinging. So 1 out, runner on first. Sal Bando. That's a 22, and that's a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks. Bando strikes out. And now it's Joe Rudi with 2 outs, and Alou's on at first. It's a 70. That's going to be off Tommy John. That's strike 3. So Tommy John, after allowing the RBI single to Alou, strikes out the side. 1 run and 1 hit. And it's Rick Reichart, the left fielder. Pitch from Catfish Hunter. It's a 29er. 29, and that's going to be defense again. And a 40. A 40 says it's a ground ball to the third baseman, and Bando boots it. So in 2 innings, we got 3 errors. Okay. So that puts Reichart on at first. That's a 67. That's a strikeout for the first out. So Walt Williams chases a high fastball. And next is Ed Herman. That's a 0-3, and that's going to be line base hit to right. That's going to allow Reichart. Let's see if that'll allow Reichart to make it to third. And no, it will not. He's going to stop. So Ed Herman with a single runners on first and second, and now it's Tommy John. That's a 0-6 off John's card. That's a strikeout. Out number 2. And now here comes the top of the order, Richard. Lee Richard, pitch from Catfish Hunter, 75. And a 6 is a hard hit ground ball to the shortstop, Campaneris. Campy flips to his counterpart, Green, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit. We go to bottom of the second. All right, here goes. Rick Monday steps in the box. It's an 84, and a 4 is Chop. High chopper. Second baseman Andrews waits for it to come down. Now whips it to first. Out number 1. Dave Duncan. That's an 89, and the 7 is a fly ball to left. Under it is Reinhardt or Reichart and Green, 64. That's a walk. So Dick Green walks, and that brings up Catfish Hunter. You got a pitcher hitting card for Catfish Hunter. You got every single ball player, every single card with deep drive baseball. It's a 69. 69 is a strikeout, and that retires the side. That's strikeout number 4, by the way, for Tommy John. No runs, no hits. We go to the top of the third. John Stone's leading it off against Catfish Hunter. 26. That's a 5. It's a ground ball to third. Third baseman Bando over to first and gets John Stone by half a step. Mike Andrews, 55, and that's line base hit the center field. So Andrews on at first. Melton, 24, he homered earlier. He strikes out here. 2 outs. And Carlos May, top of the third. It's 2-1. Oh, that's going to be a 0-3 with a runner on first. We're going to roll that, see if it's a wild pitch. To 65. 65 tells us balk B, C, D, or F. And that is an A. He's a BC. He does not balk, so we continue. So we're going to go that 0-3. And that 0-3 is a deep drive. We roll off the deep drive. That's a 12. And a 9 is going to be a deep drive center field. On the run as a center fielder Monday and makes a fine running catch to end the inning. So no runs, 1 hit. Reichard is how you pronounce that name, Rick Reichard, in left field. Got a little bit. We got the pulse monster attacking us. Let's see if I pull this back just a little bit. See if I can get away from that pulse monster. No matter what I do, it seems to be a problem. Constantly, lately, it's been a problem. Usually, it stops when I get it closer. And then I start it again. All right, let's see what we're doing here. It's the bottom half of the third inning. It's going to be the top of the order. Campaneris leading it off. And that's a 75. 75 is a line shot to the first baseman, Melton. No, Melton's a third baseman. It's Carlos May, L3. 1 up, 1 down. That's a 93 and a 4. It's going to be chopped to second. Charging it is Andrews. Throws out Alou. And now it's a 41 off Reggie Jackson. And that's going to be a line shot. And again, first baseman Carlos May makes the catch. Reichard leading it off against Catfish Hunter in the top of the fourth. No runs, no hits. It's a 25. That's going to be a strikeout. Reichard strikes out. And that is strikeout number 4 for Catfish. Catfish was 21 and 11 with a 2.90 ERA. Hopefully I get a couple of complete games out of this one. That's back-to-back Ks for Catfish. Second time that Williams has struck out. Walt No-Neck Williams, that's his nickname. That's a 20 this time. 20 is a strikeout. So Hunter strikes out the side. 3 up, 3 down on Ks. And that is going to be 6 strikeouts for Catfish Hunter. All right, Sal Bando, the cleanup hitter for the A's. That's a 21, and that's going to be a strikeout. Second time Bando struck out. That's strikeout number 5 for John. 0-2, that's going to be a deep drive. And a 0-8 is a potential home run. And a 1, that's gone. Joe Rudy leans into one, drives it deep to left field. Back goes the left fielder, Reichard. Looks up, and that's gone. Game tie. Joe Rudy. Solo shot. Now, Joe Rudy in 71 hit 10 home runs. So he's not a real big power guy, but he connected for 1 here. That's a 74 now. And that's defense. So we're going to look at the defensive chart. 0-0, and that's roll on the range chart. 17 on the range chart is a ball to the second baseman. Andrews late getting there, and that goes through for a base hit. So Monday with a CNI single. He's on first. Dave Duncan next. An 82. That's a 6. That's a hard hit ground ball right at the shortstop. Richard, he flips to Andrews, back to first. Nice scoop by Carlos May, and it's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. So it's 1 run, 2 hits, and we go to top of the 5th. So it's nice to play with the green the mean green machine, hitting machine, as Reggie Jackson called him. Tommy John, 0-3. That's a K. Number 7 for Catfish Hunter. Next is 43. And that's going to be an easy out. That's a slow chopper that Green is going to charge. Better hurry and in time to get Richard. Lee Richard rounds out for out number 2 in the top of the 5th. This game plays very, very quickly. It's an 88 and it's a 4. And that's a slow chopper to shortstop. Campanera is going to come in. He's going to charge bare hands at throw to first in time to get Johnstone. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits. We go bottom half of the 5th. Dick Green leading it off. That's a 51, and that's a deep drive off of Green. And a 50 is a ball that one hop off the wall, splits the outfielders. Green into second base with a leadoff double. Jim Catfish Hunter is going to bunt. That's a 62, and a 62 is a single. Let's see what happens here on the bunt. 62 is a potential single. Roll. Okay, let's roll the 2. We roll the 2, and that's going to be very slow batter out on sacrifice. Fly. Otherwise, infield single. Okay, so he is fast actually. No, that's not what we're looking at. Catfish Hunter is average. So he's not very slow or slow, so he's going to beat it out. Beats out a single. So runners on first and third now. The game is tied at 2 apiece here in the bottom of the 5th. Bert Campaneris. Infield is in for the White Sox. That's a 92. 92 and a 5. It's going to be a hard hit ball at shortstop with 1 out. Green is going to try to, you know what? No, he holds on that 6-3. Runner moves to second base. So second and third now with one out. And it's Alou. Infield is still in. It's a 95 and a 5. Again, a hard hit ball right at shortstop. And he's going to hold. And now it's Reggie Jackson. 0-7, that's line base hit. That's going to score 2 runs. Hunter scores. Green scores. Big 2-out clutch single by Reginald Martinez Jackson. Puts the A's up 4-2. And it's Sal Bando. It's a 14 for Sal Bando, and that's ball 4. And next is Joe Rudy. Joe Rudy's got a home run in the 4th inning. 4-2 A's. That's a 22, and that's going to be fly ball center field. Settling under it is Johnstone. Makes the catch, and that retires the side, but not before. The A's come up with 2 big runs on 1, 2, 3 hits, and they lead it 4-2. Mike Andrews leading it off against Catfish Hunter. That's a 62, and that's ball 4. Leadoff batter is on. Andrews flips the bat and trots down at first. Bill Melton, who homered in the 1st inning. That's a 76, and a 7 is a fly ball deep left field. Melton pulls one down the line near the warning track, and left fielder Alou makes the catch. Back to first is Andrews. Next batter is May, 29. And that's a 5, and that's a hard hit ground ball to shortstop, Campaneris. Campaneris flips to Green, back to first baseman Rudy, and it's a 6-4-3 double play. No runs, no hits. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Nice defense for the A's after committing a couple of errors in the first couple of innings in this game. All right, so 41 on Monday. And that's a 3, and that's a medium grounded to the third baseman, Melton, over to first. Throw beats Monday. No, it's Duncan, a 92 and a 9, and that's a fly ball deep center field. On the run is Johnstone. He gets there for out number 2, and it's Dick Green. Dick Green, a 29. 29 is the 0. That's line and caught by the shortstop, Richards. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to top of the 7th. Now, as you can see, this game plays very, very quickly, but it does have a lot of detail, a lot of nuance. You get the whole season. They have multiple seasons. You can get any season that they have. They have about 5, 6 seasons. It's a new company starting out, and it plays very, very fluid. And it's going to be Rick Reichard against Jim Catfish Hunter. That's a 32. We'll start checking for endurance. That's a 32, and that's going to be a 0. That's line and caught by the third baseman, Bandel, L5. 1 up, 1 down. So Hunter's really settled down here. That's a 0-5, and that's line base hit for Williams. After striking out a couple of times, lines a fastball back up the middle. And it's Ed Herman. That's a 39. And a 3 is a slow ground at third base. There's going to be only 1 play. Nice throw by Bandel, a little low, scooped up by Rudy. Runner at second, 2 outs, and Williams is on second base for Tommy John. Here's a pitch from Catfish Hunter. That's a 61, and that's ball 4. So he walks the pitcher, and Hunter's mad at himself. So running out is going to be Dave Duncan to talk to Hunter. And tying runs are on base now. Lee Richard is up, right-handed hitter. 43. That's going to be an easy out, fly ball, right field. Right there is Jackson. Settles under it, makes the catch. Flips the ball to a fan on the way back in. And no runs, 1 hit. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Jim Catfish Hunter leading it off. Let's double check. He's gone 7. He's allowed no earned runs, so we're not going to charge him for an earned run. He's gone 7, and he's faced the lineup 3 times. That's 10. Catfish Hunter has 12 endurance or points. He can go 2 more. He could finish this game out. Jim Catfish Hunter, 51. That's off Tommy John. That's going to be a deep drive. There is no deep drive off of Hunter. Oh, wait, there is a deep drive off of Hunter. But it's only off of the pitcher's card. Okay? And got it. That's a 63, and that ball is driven down the line into left center field, and that's going to be 1 hop off the wall. That's going to go for a double. So Jim Catfish Hunter has 2 hits today. Jim Catfish Hunter's batting average, by the way, I always like to point these things out, 350. Jim Catfish Hunter had a 350 batting average with 109 plate appearances. Holy smoke, and 1 home run. Wow. That's nuts. Campy Campaneris. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tommy John can go this last inning. This will be his last inning. See if we can get through this. Bert Campaneris, we're going to try to bunt with this. And it's a 76 and a 6. It's going to be a successful bunt. And we're going to see who's that to. 6, that's a bunt to the catcher, a little number in front of the plate. It's going to be only 1 play. So it's 2-4 sacrifice. Over to third, so the infield is in now for Alou. That's a 62, and that's line base hit to left field. RBI single for Alou. Next is Jackson. That's a 0-8. And off of Jackson, that's going to be line base hit, and Alou is going to go to third. So that's going to be it for Tommy John. Going to be it for Tommy John. We're going to take a quick peek and see who exactly the White Sox were using here. What do I have here? I was doing the Mets 2019. I got to go into this other one. Hold on. And the White Sox, who are they using? They are using a guy named Vicente Romo. Vicente Romo is one guy they're using, so we'll bring him in for now. Let's see if we can find them. Now, the first time you cut these cards, they're going to be a little sticky, so it takes a little bit longer. Once you get them, you get your natural human grease oils on them, your pizza fingers, your pizza paws. Then you can manipulate them much easier. There he is, there's something wrong with the pitcher. That's his batter card, his batting card. Let's look for his pitching card. You get mostly a card for everybody. Whether pitchers usually get a batting card if they've had almost. This is I think the set where I've seen the most pitcher batting cards, individual pitcher batting cards. Now, I hope everybody's abiding by the social distancing directives. Now everybody's staying safe, staying home. There's Vicente Romo. All right. So he comes in. He's going to be green. And he's going to face runners on first and third. Infield is in. He's going to face Sal Bando. Romo's a righty, and he was 1-7 with 3.38 ERA. That's an 89 and an 8. 89 and an 8 is a fly ball to left field. Let's check and see. Fly ball to left field. Home, question mark, question mark. Alou, I think Alou is fast. Alou, no, Alou is plain, is average, so he's not going to score. F7. 2 outs. And up comes Joe Rudi. Joe Rudi's 1 for 3. He struck out, homered, and then flied out to center field. That's a 91 and a 4. And that's going to be a slow grounder to second baseman. Andrews throws him out, and that retires the side. So the A's pick up 1 run on 3 hits. They lead it by a score of 5-2. Jay Johnstone is leading it off against Jim Catfish Hunter. That's a 95 and a 0. That's the line to the shortstop, Campaneris. Times it perfectly, leaps, and nice catch. Snow cone catch. Andrews is next. It's a 57. That's a ground ball and base hit to left field. Second hit for Andrews. Andrews batted 282. He's their third place hitter. Never saw him as such a good hitter. It's a 34, Bill Melton. That's going to be some kind of an out. That's popped infield, second baseman. Under it, Green squeezes it, 2 out. And it's Carlos May. Carlos May's 0 for 3, lined out, flied out, and then into double play. 39, and that's a 9. And that's a fly ball center field. Racing in is Monday, and he gets there, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, go to the bottom of the 8th. Vicente Romo can go 2 innings. Plus he retired 2 there, so he's forgiven for that inning, so he can go 2 2/3. Rick Monday. 78. And 8 is a fly ball left field. Monday goes the opposite way. 1 up, 1 down. Dave Duncan. 23 and a 6. 23 is a strikeout. So I'll have to look at that 6. Now when there's a strikeout, that's going to be a 74. That's defensive check. It's a 70. And that's going to be a ground ball and picked up by Andrews. And throws over the head of Carlos May. And that's going to be, I think, the second error of the game. Oh no, the first error of the game or the second error. The second throwing error of the game for Andrews, who's really a terrible second baseman, rated at a 1, way below the league average. So it's a 2-out error, and it's going to be Jim Catfish Hunter now with Green at second base. That's an 84, and a 5 is a slow grounder to the shortstop, Richards. He charges, and scoops it, throws, and gets Hunter, and that retires the side. So no runs, no hits, one error. Both teams have two errors now. And this is basically last licks. So Hunter may get he's got 8. He has not allowed an official run, and he's been through the lineup 3 times, so that's 11. He can go 12, so he can get this complete game. There'll be back-to-back complete games for the A's if Hunter can go. Okay, he's going to be facing Reichart. Here's a pitch, 87, and that's a 1, and that's popped up. Second baseman Green settles under it. Squeezes it for out number 1. And this has been a 31-minute game so far. Walt Williams, 18, and that's a hit by pitch. So Nonek is hit. He's on at first. Next is Ed Herman. That's a 14, and that is strike 3. So Herman strikes out. And now we've got a pinch hitter. Let's see who that's going to be. This is going to take a split second to pull a pinch hitter now. This is going to slow our game. It's going to be a 32-minute game. And I expect a lot of my 1971 replay to be these very, very super short games, which is very exciting. A lot of complete games, very few pitching changes, just fun. Lee May and McKinney. Lee May and McKinney. Let's look for those 2 guys. Rich McKinney. He's a righty. Let's look at Lee May now. I saw him before. I'm learning these teams. I don't know very many of these players, by the way. Learning them slowly but surely. I'm playing in a inside pitch retro league starting with a 69 season. Lee May. There you go. Lee May is going to come in. He's a lefty batter. He's going to face Catfish Hunter with 1 on and 2 out. It's 5-2 A's. So Herman struck out after Williams walked. All right, let's go back to the live stream. And here goes. Here's the pitch from Jim Catfish Hunter trying to complete this game with 2 outs, 1 on here in the top of the 9th. The A's lead it by a score of 5-2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's going to be a 0-9, and that's a ball 4. So May walks. And out comes the pitching coach to talk to Hunter. Hunter is saying he's fine. He's fine. You can read his lips. They haven't started covering their mouths with the gloves yet. And he's saying, I'm doing fine. All right, so Dick Williams is going to allow Catfish Hunter to finish out this game. But the danger is if he allows one more hitter, one more batter to reach base, they may have to pull him. Because right now, at the plate is the tying run. It's a 5-2 ball game. Williams is on at second, and the pinch hitter was May. I'm going to write him in. He pinched here. He walked, so he's at first. And here's Lee Richard. That's a 31, and that's going to be a ground ball, slow ground ball to second baseman Green. He rushes in, bare hands it, throw to first, in time, and Richard doesn't think so. But the ball game is over. Jim Catfish Hunter is going to get the victory. So it's no runs and no hits in the top of the 9th. The A's win it by a score of 5-2. Jim Catfish Hunter gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits. And the runs were earned. Unearned. 2 unearned runs. And how many did Catfish Hunter strike out and walk? Well, he walked 1 there. So that. 2. And then 1 in the 9th. 3. 3 walks for Jim Catfish Hunter. And he struck out another 1 there. He had 7, 8. 8 strikeouts. Gave up 1 home run. But that was after. He should have been the last out of the inning. And the hits, what did I say? It was 5 hits allowed by Hunter. Went 9 innings, gets the victory. The loss, we get Vicente Romo, which we never wrote in. He went 1 2/3, 1.2. John went 6.1, 7, 8. And So the A's, how many hits did the A's have? They had one there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hits. Both teams had 2 errors. So line score: White Sox 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors. The A's 5 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. This is the first game of a doubleheader. We're going to go to the second game of the doubleheader, and I'll tell you the deal with that game. So in the first game, it was Tommy John versus Jim Catfish Hunter. In the second game, I'll tell you who's going to go for the A's. For the A's, it's going to be Raleigh Fingers is going to be starting the game, and he's going to be going against Bart Johnson. So in the second game of this doubleheader, it's going to be Bart Johnson versus Raleigh Fingers. We're going to play that a little bit later. Having fun with Deep Drive Baseball. I hope you enjoyed it. This is baseball, tabletop baseball TV, and your host, CP Cards and Dice. And we are replaying the 1971 A's, okay, for a bunch of reasons. Just the fact that I'm reading a couple of books from that era, and I got pumped up to do that. And it just so happens that Deep Drive Baseball has the 1971 season. I'm getting to know their chart. Their chart is a little bit different from 71 than it is from 2019. Understandable. It's 50 years before. But I'm also getting to learn a lot of these players and see how they were rated and so on. So I'm having a blast. This is CP Cards and Dice saying thanks for stopping by. This was really a 36-minute game, so that was pretty quick. Take care now.